In a distant African kingdom, surrounded by lush jungles and majestic mountains, there lived a king and queen who longed for a child. They ruled a prosperous land where the rivers flowed with crystal-clear water and the fields yielded abundant harvests. Yet, their hearts were heavy with sorrow, for they had no heir to continue their lineage and protect their beloved kingdom. The kingdom was called Nyumbani, and its people were known for their deep connection to nature and the sea. They believed in the power of the ocean and revered the mermaids who were said to dwell beneath the waves. These mermaids, known as the Majiwatu, were considered protectors of the sea and its creatures. They were also believed to possess magical powers that could heal, transform, and even bestow blessings upon those they deemed worthy. One fateful night, under a sky filled with twinkling stars, the queen gave birth to a son. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the moon cast a gentle glow over the land. The people rejoiced, for their prayers had been answered. The king and queen named their son Armari, which meant hope in their ancient language. Little did they know, this name would become prophetic in ways they could not have imagined. Armari was a beautiful child, with skin as smooth and dark as polished ebony, and eyes that sparkled like the ocean at dawn. From the moment he was born, there was something extraordinary about him. The wise elders of the kingdom sensed a great destiny awaiting the young prince. They spoke of ancient prophecies and whispered of the Majiwatu's involvement in his birth. As Armari grew, it became clear that he was no ordinary child. He possessed an innate curiosity and a deep love for the ocean. He would often wander to the shoreline, mesmerized by the waves and the mysteries they concealed. His parents, though protective, allowed him this freedom, understanding that the sea called to him in a way they could not deny. One day, when Armari was just 5 years old, a terrible storm struck the kingdom. The sky darkened, and the winds howled with a ferocity never before witnessed. The sea roared and thrashed, as if in turmoil. Armari, fascinated by the raw power of the elements, ventured too close to the shore. A massive wave crashed down upon him, sweeping him into the depths of the ocean. The king and queen were devastated. They sent out search parties, but there was no trace of the young prince. Days turned into weeks and hope began to fade. The people mourned the loss of their beloved Armari, and the kingdom fell into a deep sadness. But beneath the waves, in a world unseen by human eyes, Armari's journey was just beginning. As the storm raged, the Majiwatu sensed the presence of the young prince. The mermaids, with their shimmering tails and ethereal beauty, swam to where Armari had been taken by the sea. They found him, unconscious but alive, and brought him to their underwater realm. The Majiwatu were captivated by the child, sensing the extraordinary destiny that surrounded him. They decided to raise Armari as one of their own. Under their care, he thrived, learning the secrets of the ocean and the ancient magic of the Majiwatu. He grew strong and wise, with a deep understanding of the balance between the land and the sea. The mermaids taught him to communicate with sea creatures, to navigate the currents, and to harness the power of the ocean. Years passed, and Armari became a young man. His human origins remained a mystery to him, but he felt a deep connection to both the sea and the land. The Majiwatu treated him with love and respect, recognizing the unique role he was destined to play. They revealed to him the ancient prophecy that spoke of a child born of the land, raised by the sea, who would unite the two realms and bring harmony to Nyumbani. Armari listened to the prophecy with a sense of awe and responsibility. He knew that his destiny was intertwined with the fate of his kingdom, and he felt a longing to return to the world above the waves. The Majiwatu, though sad to see him go, understood that his time with them was meant to prepare him for the challenges ahead. One morning, with the first rays of dawn illuminating the shoreline, Armari took his first steps onto the familiar yet distant sands of Nyumbani. The scent of the ocean lingered on his skin, a reminder of the world he had left behind. He felt a mixture of anticipation and apprehension as he gazed at the landscape that was once his home. The land had changed during his absence. Villages seemed more weathered, and there was an air of quiet despair among the people. Armari knew he needed to understand the plight of his kingdom before he could help restore its former glory. As he walked through the nearest village, the people stared at him with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. They saw a young man with a commanding presence, his eyes reflecting the depths of the ocean and the wisdom of the Majiwatu. He introduced himself simply as Armari, not revealing his royal heritage. The villagers, though skeptical, offered him food and shelter, their hospitality a testament to their enduring kindness. Armari listened to their stories, learning about the hardships that had befallen Nyumbani. Crops had failed, and the once bountiful rivers had begun to dry up. The king and queen, stricken with grief after losing their son, had become reclusive, leaving the kingdom vulnerable to external threats and internal strife. Bandits roamed the land, and the people lived in fear. Determined to help, Armari decided to seek out the village elder, a wise woman named Mama Nia. She was known for her deep knowledge of the land and its history, and her counsel was respected by all. When Armari approached her humble hut, she looked at him with penetrating eyes that seemed to see into his very soul. "Welcome, young man," she said, her voice gentle yet firm. "I sense you carry a great burden and a greater destiny. Sit with me and tell me what brings you here." Armari recounted his tale from his childhood to his time with the Majiwatu and his return to Nyumbani. Mama Nia listened intently, nodding as he spoke. When he finished, she smiled warmly. "You are the prince we lost yet found by the sea," she said. "The Majiwatu have prepared you well, but to save Nyumbani, you must first unite its people and heal the rift between the land and the sea." She advised Armari to travel to the heart of the kingdom, to the great baobab tree, a sacred place where the spirit of Nyumbani was believed to reside. There, he would need to perform an ancient ritual to restore balance and harmony. But before he could undertake this task, he needed allies and the support of the people. Armari set out to earn the trust and loyalty of his people. He traveled from village to village, helping those in need, using the skills and knowledge imparted to him by the Majiwatu. He healed the sick with herbs and remedies, repaired broken tools, and mediated disputes. His deeds spread quickly, and soon tales of the mysterious stranger reached the far corners of the kingdom. One evening, while resting by a campfire, Armari encountered a group of warriors led by a fierce woman named Kesi. She was known for her bravery and strength, having defended her village from bandits and wild beasts. Intrigued by Armari's reputation, she challenged him to a duel, wanting to test his mettle. The duel was fierce, their movements a blur of speed and precision. Armari fought with the grace of the ocean's currents, his reflexes honed by years underwater. Kesi, impressed by his skill and determination, conceded defeat. "You are unlike any warrior I have faced," she said, extending her hand in friendship. "I believe in your cause. Let us join forces and restore Nyumbani together." With Kesi and her warriors by his side, Armari's influence grew. They continued their journey to the capital, inspiring others to join their cause. Along the way, they encountered scholars, healers, and farmers, each bringing their unique talents to the growing movement. Finally, they reached the great baobab tree, its massive trunk and sprawling branches a testament to its ancient wisdom and power. Under Mama Nia's guidance, Armari prepared. A brilliant light enveloped the great baobab tree, spreading outwards in a wave of energy that washed over the kingdom. Rivers flowed freely once more, crops began to flourish, and the people felt a renewed sense of hope and vitality. The bandits, sensing the newfound strength of the kingdom, fled, and peace returned to the land. Armari had fulfilled his destiny, but his work was far from over. He knew that true harmony required continued effort and unity. With the support of his people and the wisdom of the Majiwatu, he vowed to lead Nyumbani into a new era of prosperity and peace. Mama Nia approached him, her eyes shining with pride. "You have done well, my prince. The spirits of the land and sea are pleased. Remember, the bond you have forged must be nurtured, for it is the foundation of our future." Armari nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. He looked out over the gathered crowd, seeing in their eyes the trust and faith they had placed in him. With a heart full of hope and determination, he stepped forward, ready to lead his kingdom towards a brighter tomorrow. The newfound peace in Nyumbani brought with it both relief and new challenges. Armari, with his allies by his side, took on the mantle of leadership with determination and wisdom. The kingdom, however, was not entirely free from threats. Shadows lingered on the horizon, and whispers of discontent reached Armari's ears. One day, while overseeing the rebuilding of a village devastated by the previous drought, Armari received word of a mysterious figure stirring unrest in the northern territories. This figure, known only as Zuberi, was rallying those dissatisfied with the current state of affairs, promising power and wealth to those who would follow him. Armari knew he had to address this threat before it grew beyond control. Gathering his closest advisors, including Casey, Mamania, and a brilliant strategist named Django, Armari devised a plan to confront Zuberi and understand his true intentions. They decided to travel discreetly, blending in with the common folk to avoid drawing attention. Armari, Casey, and Django set out, leaving Mamania to oversee the kingdom's affairs in their absence. As they traveled through the northern territories, they witnessed the impact of Zuberi's influence. Villages were divided, families torn apart by conflicting loyalties. Armari and his companions spoke with the villagers, listening to their grievances and offering solutions to their problems. Slowly, they began to win over hearts and minds, but the specter of Zuberi loomed large. One evening, while camping near a dense forest, they were approached by a young woman named Asha. She claimed to have information about Zuberi's plans and offered to guide them to his stronghold. Asha's eyes held a mix of fear and determination, and Armari sensed she was trustworthy. With her guidance, they ventured deeper into the forest, moving cautiously to avoid detection. After several days of arduous travel, they reached the outskirts of Zuberi's encampment. Hidden among the trees, they observed a well-organized and heavily guarded fortress. Zuberi's followers were numerous and well-armed, their loyalty evident in their disciplined movements. Armari knew a direct confrontation would be risky, so he decided to gather more information before taking action. Asha led them to a hidden cave, where they could rest and plan their next move. As they sat around a small fire, Asha shared her story. She had been a healer in a nearby village, but Zuberi's men had destroyed her home when she refused to join them. She had seen firsthand the suffering he caused and wanted to help bring him down. Inspired by her bravery, Armari, Casey, and Django devised a plan to infiltrate the fortress. Under the cover of darkness, they would sneak into the encampment, gather intelligence, and identify Zuberi's weaknesses. Asha offered to create a distraction, using her knowledge of the forest to mislead the guards. That night, the group executed their plan with precision. Asha set small fires in strategic locations. The ensuing battle was fierce and grueling. Zuberi's dark magic clashed with the wisdom and strength of Armari, creating a spectacle of light and shadow. With each strike, Armari felt the weight of his ancestors and the power of the Majiwatu guiding him. In a final decisive blow, he managed to disarm Zuberi and break the spell that had given him his power. As Zuberi fell, his followers surrendered, their morale shattered by the defeat of their leader. Armari, ever the just ruler, spared those who laid down their arms, offering them a chance to rebuild and contribute to a peaceful Nyumbani. With Zuberi's threat neutralized, Armari and his companions returned to the capital, where they were greeted with cheers and celebrations. The people of Nyumbani had witnessed the strength and wisdom of their prince, and their faith in him was stronger than ever. Armari knew the path ahead would still be filled with challenges, but he was ready to face them, united with his people and the spirit of the land and sea. The kingdom of Nyumbani began to heal and flourish once more, its future bright under the leadership of a prince who had been raised by mermaids and guided by destiny. In the tranquility that followed Zuberi's defeat, Nyumbani thrived under Armari's just and wise rule. Villages were rebuilt, rivers flowed once more, and the fields bore plentiful harvests. However, beneath this surface of prosperity, new challenges began to stir, testing Armari's resolve and the unity of his people. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the kingdom, a shadowy figure approached the palace gates. Dressed in tattered robes and exuding an aura of mystery, the figure requested an audience with the prince. Intrigued, Armari agreed to meet the visitor in the palace courtyard. The figure introduced himself as Mosi, a wandering sage known for his knowledge of ancient lore and his ability to commune with the spirits. His eyes, though tired, gleamed with wisdom. Mosi spoke of a growing darkness in the land, a curse that threatened to unravel the very fabric of Nyumbani. "Prince Armari," Mosi said, his voice a low murmur, "there is a serpent in the heart of Nyumbani, whispering deceit and spreading discord. This serpent is not of flesh and blood, but of shadow and malice. It seeks to divide your people and plunge the kingdom into chaos." Armari listened intently, aware that the peace he had fought so hard to achieve was fragile. He knew that Mosi's warning could not be ignored. The serpent's whisper had to be silenced before it could take root and destroy all they had built. With Mosi's guidance, Armari assembled a small group of trusted allies. Casey, ever by his side, stood ready with her unwavering loyalty. Django, with his strategic mind, offered his insights. Mama Nia, though weary from her own struggles, provided her wisdom and spiritual support. Together, they vowed to uncover and vanquish the serpent. Their search began in the deepest parts of the kingdom, where shadows lingered and whispers of discontent were most potent. Villagers spoke of strange occurrences, crops withering overnight, livestock disappearing, and inexplicable illnesses spreading through communities. Armari and his companions moved quietly, investigating these anomalies and seeking the source of the malevolent force. In a secluded village nestled in the mountains, they encountered a shaman named Ayo. She was known for her ability to see beyond the physical world and into the realm of spirits. Ayo welcomed them into her hut, her eyes reflecting the flickering firelight. "The serpent you seek is a spirit of ancient resentment," Ayo explained. "It feeds on fear and discord, growing stronger with each act of division it sows. To confront it, you must enter the spirit realm, where it resides in its true form." Ayo prepared a potion from rare herbs and roots designed to open their minds to the spirit realm. Armari and his companions drank the potion, feeling its effects almost immediately. Their surroundings blurred and shifted, and they found themselves standing in a world both familiar and strange, where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual were indistinct. In this ethereal landscape, the serpent revealed itself. It was a creature of shadow and malice, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. The serpent hissed and coiled around them, whispering insidious thoughts meant to drive wedges between them. "Armari," it hissed, "you cannot trust those around you. They seek to usurp your power and betray you." Casey felt its venomous words slither into her mind, planting seeds of doubt. Django heard the serpent's whispers questioning his loyalty. Even Mama Nia, wise and steadfast, sensed the serpent's attempt to undermine their unity. Armari, aware of the serpent's ploy, spoke with the strength of his convictions. "We are bound by trust and the love of our people. Your whispers hold no power over us." He reached out to his companions, each taking his hand, forming an unbreakable circle of solidarity. Their collective strength began to weaken the serpent, its form flickering and losing substance. Together, they chanted a song of unity and hope, a melody that resonated with the spirit of Nyumbani itself. The serpent, unable to withstand their united front, writhed and shrieked before dissipating into nothingness. The spirit realm began to dissolve, and they found themselves back in Ayo's hut, the fire burning brightly as if welcoming their return. Ayo smiled, her eyes filled with pride. "You have done well, Prince Armari. The serpent's curse is broken, but remember, the strength of Nyumbani lies in the unity of its people. Guard it well." Armari and his companions returned to the palace, carrying with them the knowledge that the greatest threats often come from within. The kingdom's prosperity was not just a matter of peace and abundance, but of maintaining the bonds of trust and unity among its people. And so, with renewed determination, Armari continued to lead, ever vigilant against the whispers of discord that could threaten the harmony of Nyumbani. The serene days that followed the serpent's defeat allowed Armari to focus on the prosperity of Nyumbani. However, peace brought with it the realization of new responsibilities and hidden threats. One day, as Armari was consulting with his advisors in the palace, a young messenger arrived, breathless and wide-eyed. "Your Highness," the boy stammered, "there's trouble in the enchanted forest. The trees are dying, and strange creatures have been sighted." Armari, recognizing the gravity of the situation, called for Casey, Django, and Mama Nia. Together, they made their way to the edge of the enchanted forest, a place revered for its ancient trees and mystical creatures. The forest had always been a source of life and magic, its guardianship entrusted to the people of Nyumbani. Upon entering the forest, they were met with a sight that saddened their hearts. Trees that had stood for centuries were withering, their leaves turning brittle and falling to the ground. The air, once filled with the songs of birds and the rustling of leaves, was now heavy with an unnatural silence. They moved deeper into the forest, alert for any signs of the cause of this blight. They soon encountered a group of forest dwellers, led by an elderly woman named Zara. She had lived in the enchanted forest all her life, serving as its guardian and healer. Zara's face was etched with worry, her eyes reflecting the pain of the dying forest. "Prince Armari," she said, bowing slightly, "a dark force has invaded our sanctuary. It saps the life from the trees and corrupts the creatures within. We have tried everything, but its power grows stronger each day." Armari assured Zara they would do all they could to save the forest. Mama Nia suggested they seek the wisdom of the forest spirits, ancient entities that had protected the woods since time immemorial. Zara led them to the sacred grove, a secluded glade where the forest spirits were believed to reside. In the center of the grove stood a colossal tree, its bark glowing with an inner light. Armari approached it, feeling the ancient magic pulsing through the air. He called out to the spirits, asking for their guidance and assistance. A gentle breeze stirred, and from the tree emerged ethereal figures, their forms shimmering like sunlight through leaves. The spirits spoke in a harmonious chorus, their voices blending with the sounds of the forest. "Prince Armari, we sense your pure heart and noble intentions. The forest suffers from a malevolent entity known as the Blight, a creature born of dark magic and hatred. To vanquish it, you must seek the heart of the forest, a powerful relic hidden deep within these woods. It is guarded by the spirit of the first guardian, a mighty being of immense power and wisdom." With the spirit's guidance, Armari and his companions set off to find the heart of the forest. They traversed through dense undergrowth, crossed sparkling streams, and climbed steep hills, driven by their determination to save the enchanted forest. Along the way, they encountered strange and dangerous creatures, twisted by the Blight's influence. At last, they reached a secluded valley, where an ancient tree stood alone, its branches reaching towards the sky like pleading arms. This was the heart of the forest, its presence radiating an overwhelming sense of power and tranquility. Guarding it was the spirit of the first guardian, a majestic figure with eyes like burning embers and a presence that commanded respect. The guardian spoke, its voice deep and resonant. "I have awaited your arrival, Prince Armari. The heart of the forest can cleanse this land of the Blight, but only if you prove yourself worthy. You must face the trials of the forest and demonstrate your courage, wisdom, and compassion." Armari, Kessie, Django, and Mama Nia prepared themselves for the trials ahead. Each trial tested a different aspect of their character. They navigated through a maze of illusions, confronted their deepest fears, and solved ancient riddles that challenged their intellect and unity. Through their combined efforts and unwavering determination, they succeeded in overcoming the trials. The Guardian, satisfied with their performance, bestowed upon Armari the heart of the forest. It was a radiant gem, pulsing with life and energy. "Use this relic wisely," the Guardian advised. "It has the power to heal the forest and banish the Blight, but it must be wielded with a pure heart and a strong will." Armari took the heart of the forest and with his companions returned to the sacred grove. There, under the watchful eyes of the forest spirits, he activated the relic. A brilliant light emanated from the gem, spreading through the grove and beyond, touching every tree, plant, and creature in the forest. The Blight, unable to withstand the pure energy of the heart, dissipated into nothingness. The trees began to revive, their leaves regaining their vibrant green hue. The creatures of the forest emerged from their hiding places, once again singing and playing in the rejuvenated woods. Zara, the forest dwellers, and the spirits thanked Armari and his companions for their bravery and dedication. The enchanted forest was saved, its ancient magic restored, and its guardianship secured once more. As Armari and his allies made their way back to the palace, they knew that their bond with the forest and its spirits had been strengthened. The kingdom of Nyumbani continued to thrive, its harmony preserved by the courage and unity of its people. Life in Nyumbani settled into a rhythm of prosperity and peace. Villages thrived, trade flourished, and the people celebrated their unity with festivals and gatherings. But as with all great tales, new challenges awaited. This time, the threat came not from within but from beyond the kingdom's borders. One afternoon, as the sun bathed the palace in a warm glow, a scout arrived with urgent news. A formidable warlord named Kiburi was amassing an army at the kingdom's edge. Kiburi, known for his ruthlessness and ambition, had conquered many lands, leaving destruction in his wake. Now, he set his sights on Nyumbani. Armari convened his council, seeking wisdom and counsel. Kessie, ever the warrior, advocated for immediate defense preparations. Django proposed strategic diplomacy to understand Kiburi's intentions better. Mama Nia, with her deep spiritual insight, suggested seeking guidance from the ancestors. Determined to protect his people and uphold the peace they had fought so hard to achieve, Armari decided on a multifaceted approach. He sent envoys to Kiburi's camp, hoping to negotiate and understand the warlord's motivations. At the same time, he bolstered the kingdom's defenses and prepared his warriors for the possibility of conflict. The envoys returned with grim news. Kiburi demanded tribute and submission, viewing Nyumbani's prosperity as a prize to be claimed. Refusing to be intimidated, Armari knew he had to confront Kiburi personally to prevent unnecessary bloodshed. With Kezi and a select group of trusted warriors, Armari traveled to Kiburi's encampment. The sight of the vast, heavily armed forces was daunting, but Armari's resolve remained unshaken. He requested an audience with Kiburi, who, intrigued by the young prince's bravery, agreed to meet. In the heart of the warlord's tent, Armari faced Kiburi. The warlord was a towering figure, his presence commanding and his eyes cold as steel. "Prince Armari," Kiburi greeted, his voice laced with mockery. "Why do you seek me? Are you here to surrender your kingdom?" Armari met Kiburi's gaze unwaveringly. "I am here to protect my people and my land. Nyumbani will not bow to threats or violence. There is strength in unity and wisdom in peace." Kiburi laughed, a harsh sound echoing through the tent. "Strength, peace, those are the words of the weak. Only power matters in this world." Armari took a deep breath, drawing upon the wisdom of the Majiwatu and the courage instilled in him by his allies. True power comes from the hearts of the people, from their love and trust. Nyumbani stands strong not because of its wealth, but because of its unity. Seeing that words alone would not sway the warlord, Armari proposed a challenge. "Let us settle this not with armies, but with a test of strength and skill. If I win, you and your forces will leave Nyumbani in peace. If you win, we will discuss terms." Kiburi, intrigued by the bold proposition, agreed. He chose his champion, a fierce warrior known for his unmatched combat prowess. Armari selected Kesi, confident in her abilities and her unyielding spirit. The challenge was set at dawn, in a clearing between the camps. The people of Nyumbani and Kiburi's warriors gathered to witness the event. The air was thick with anticipation as Kesi and the champion faced off, their eyes locked in mutual respect and determination. The battle was intense, a display of agility, strength, and strategy. Kesi fought with the precision of a seasoned warrior, her movements fluid and her strikes powerful. The champion, though formidable, was eventually outmatched by Kesi's skill and resolve. As the champion fell, the crowd erupted in cheers. Armari approached Kiburi, extending a hand of peace. "Your warrior fought valiantly, but this conflict serves no purpose. Let us find a way to coexist and thrive together." Kiburi, though reluctant, saw the wisdom in Armari's words and the strength in Nyumbani's unity. He agreed to withdraw his forces and entered into a pact of non-aggression. The warlord's respect for Armari grew, and he recognized that true strength lay not just in conquest, but in the ability to forge lasting alliances. With Kiburi's forces retreating, Nyumbani rejoiced. The threat had been averted, and the kingdom's unity had once again proven to be its greatest strength. Armari and his companions returned to the palace, their spirits high and their resolve unshaken, knowing that the future of Nyumbani would continue to be bright and prosperous. Under the peaceful nights of Nyumbani, the stars shone brightly, and the people enjoyed a sense of security and prosperity. Yet, Armari sensed that the calm was but a prelude to a greater challenge. His dreams had been filled with visions of an ancient prophecy, whispered by the spirits of the Majiwatu and the ancestors. One evening, as the moon bathed the palace in a silvery glow, Mama Nia approached Armari with a grave expression. "Prince Armari," she began, "the spirits have spoken to me of a prophecy that must be heeded. A time of great trial approaches, one that will test the very essence of your leadership and the unity of Nyumbani." Armari listened intently as Mama Nia recounted the prophecy. It spoke of an eclipse, a time when the moon would turn red, and the balance between the worlds of the living and the spirits would be disrupted. During this time, a great adversary would arise, threatening to engulf Nyumbani in darkness, unless a leader of pure heart and unyielding courage could restore the balance. As the eclipse neared, Armari gathered his closest allies. Kesi, with her unbreakable spirit, Jengo, with his keen intellect, and Zara, the guardian of the enchanted forest, all pledged their unwavering support. Together, they prepared to face whatever challenge the prophecy foretold. On the night of the eclipse, the sky darkened, and the moon took on a blood-red hue. A palpable tension filled the air as the people of Nyumbani gathered in the great square, their eyes turned skyward. Suddenly, a chilling wind swept through the kingdom, and a figure emerged from the shadows. A being of darkness, its form shifting and indistinct, eyes glowing with malevolent intent. I am Nyoka, the harbinger of chaos, the figure declared, its voice echoing through the square. This land shall fall into despair, and the spirits shall be silenced. Armari stepped forward, his voice steady and resolute. Nyoka, you will not succeed. The spirits and the people of Nyumbani stand united against you. Nyoka laughed, a sound that sent shivers through the crowd. Then face me, Prince, and let us see if your words hold true. Armari, armed with the wisdom of the Majiwatu and the strength of his companions, confronted Nyoka. The battle that ensued was unlike any other, as it was fought not just with physical strength, but with the very essence of their spirits. Casey and Jengo fought valiantly by his side, while Zara invoked the power of the forest, calling upon the ancient magic that flowed through the land. As the conflict raged, Nyoka unleashed waves of dark energy, attempting to sow discord and fear, but Armari, drawing upon the unity and love of his people, stood firm. He remembered the lessons of the Majiwatu and the wisdom of Mamania, using them to counter Nyoka's malevolence with light and hope. In the midst of the battle, Armari saw a vision of the great baobab tree, its branches extending like arms of protection. He realized that the key to defeating Nyoka lay in the bond between the land and its people. With renewed determination, he called upon the spirits of Nyumbani, invoking their ancient power. The ground beneath them trembled as the spirits answered Armari's call. A radiant light enveloped the square, pushing back the darkness. Nyoka writhed and shrieked, its form flickering and weakening. Armari, with his companion's support, advanced, their combined strength overwhelming the dark entity. With a final powerful surge of energy, Armari banished Nyoka, restoring the balance between the worlds. The eclipse ended, and the moon's light returned to its normal, serene glow. The people of Nyumbani erupted in cheers, their faith in their prince and each other reaffirmed. Mama Nia, her eyes shining with pride, approached Armari. You have fulfilled the prophecy, Prince Armari. The spirits are at peace, and Nyumbani is safe once more. Armari nodded, knowing that the true strength of Nyumbani lay in its unity and the unwavering spirit of its people. As the celebrations continued, he looked around at the faces of his allies and his people, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and hope for the future. The defeat of Nyoka brought a period of profound peace and renewal to Nyumbani. Armari, with his steadfast companions, continued to lead the kingdom with wisdom and compassion. The land flourished, its people thriving under the guidance of a prince who had proven himself time and again. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Armari reflected on the trials he and his people had faced. He knew that the true strength of Nyumbani lay in the unity and love that bound its people together. Determined to solidify this bond, he called for a grand celebration, a festival to honor the spirits, the land, and the resilience of the kingdom. Preparations for the festival began in earnest. Villagers from every corner of Nyumbani gathered in the capital, bringing with them their unique traditions, crafts, and stories. The palace grounds were transformed into a vibrant tapestry of colors, sounds, and scents, reflecting the rich cultural heritage of the kingdom. On the day of the festival, the air was filled with joyous music and laughter. People danced, feasted, and shared tales of bravery and hope. Armari, accompanied by Kesi, Jengo, Mamania, and Zara, moved among the crowds, embracing the spirit of unity that pervaded the celebration. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the festivities, Armari took the stage to address his people. The crowd fell silent, their faces illuminated by the flickering torchlight. My beloved people of Nyumbani, Armari began, his voice strong and filled with emotion. We have faced many trials together. We have seen darkness and despair, but through our unity and love, we have overcome every challenge. Tonight we celebrate not just our victory, but the spirit that binds us all. The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the night. Armari continued, Our strength lies in our diversity, in the rich tapestry of our cultures and traditions. Let us honor our ancestors and the spirits who protect us by continuing to live in harmony, supporting and uplifting one another. With those words, Armari raised a ceremonial torch, lighting a towering bonfire that symbolized the enduring flame of unity and hope. The crowd cheered louder, their hearts filled with pride and joy. The festival continued long into the night, a testament to the resilience and spirit of Nyumbani. In the days that followed, the kingdom experienced a renewed sense of purpose. Villagers returned to their homes with stories of the great festival, inspired by the words and actions of their prince. Armari and his council worked tirelessly to ensure that the prosperity and peace they had achieved would endure for generations to come. One evening, as Armari stood on the palace balcony, gazing out at the land he loved, Mama Nia joined him. "You have done well, my prince," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "The spirits smile upon Nyumbani, and the future is bright." Armari nodded, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "It is not I alone, but the strength and unity of our people that have brought us here. Together, we have built a kingdom where love and harmony reign." Mama Nia placed a hand on his shoulder. "And together, you will continue to guide Nyumbani to even greater heights." As the stars twinkled overhead, Armari felt a profound connection to the land and its people. He knew that the challenges they had faced had only strengthened their bond, and that the future held limitless possibilities. With a heart full of gratitude and hope, Armari embraced the promise of a new dawn. Nyumbani, united and strong, stood as a beacon of light and harmony, a testament to the power of unity and the enduring spirit of its people.